Hi, hello, welcome to this series. My name is Code91. Some of you know me as Gurbaksh, and in this series, we're going to learn Laravel. Full disclosure, I am not an expert at Laravel. I've built a couple of simple apps in Laravel 10, and the new version is Laravel 11. So, this is going to be new to me as well. So, let's dive right into the documentation and start learning. Laravel is a web application framework with expressive, elegant syntax. A web framework provides a structure and a starting point for creating your applications, allowing you to focus on creating something amazing while we sweat the details. Okay, great introduction. So I'll give you a comment on the first paragraph. Why do we need web frameworks? Isn't HTML, CSS, and JavaScript enough? You might say. You won't be wrong. If you're building something basic, that's usually more than enough. But if you have something where users are expected to log in, or if there is a database connected to it, or if there's any iota of complexity involved, then the best practice is to use a web framework, because of exactly what this paragraph says. It takes care of a lot of the repetitive tasks, such as setting up a database, authentication, even deployment in some cases. Because there are certain best practices that have developed over the years, and a framework just makes it so that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Now, other examples of PHP frameworks are CodeIgniter, Symfony. Those two have are some inspirations for Laravel. They predate Laravel. Arguably, WordPress is a framework as well, because people are using it in very interesting ways. There's headless WordPress, wherein they're using WordPress as the backend and the Jamstack, JavaScript, API, and markup. So essentially HTML, JS on the front end. So that's arguable. Other non-PHP web frameworks, the granddaddy of them all, arguably, is Ruby on Rails. Sites like Shopify and GitHub were built on Ruby on Rails. Then there's also Django. Django, I believe, powers sites like Instagram. So all of these frameworks make it easier to build an application that scales well and is secure, relatively speaking. So that's why we need a web framework, and Laravel is one of the more popular ones, because it's because of its developer experience. Now, Laravel strives to provide an amazing developer experience right off the bat, while providing a powerful features such as thorough dependency injection and an expressive database abstraction layer, queues, job schedules, unit and integration testing, and more. So a lot of heavy concepts thrown at us right off the bat. I'm going to try and explain some of them, which I'm not an expert at these, but I kind of know what they are. Dependency injection is, you can think of it as state management, if I'm not wrong. If I'm wrong, just drop an L in the chat. But my understanding of this is that I'm gonna just have this on the side. My understanding of this is that dependency injection simply means your state is managed through Laravel itself. So in React, for example, there are dependency management libraries that you need to pull in. You don't need to do that in Angular as well. You don't need to pull in anything external. Angular does this out of the box, but here you don't. So for example, if the user uh, has added 3 tomatoes to their shopping cart on your e-commerce website, on then that is dependent on the stock of tomatoes available overall in your warehouse. So that you can think of that as a rudimentary example of dependency injection. Then an expressive database abstraction layer, otherwise known as an ORM, object relational mapper. This is so that you don't have to type raw SQL queries. You don't have to raw dog SQL. Instead, you can just write PHP functions, and they will take care of SQL validation at the back end. So you don't have to worry about things like SQL injection or sanitization of queries, etc., etc. Queues and scheduled jobs, to me, sounds like multiple workers threads in JavaScript. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I'm not going to pretend like I know. Unit and integration testing. Unit testing simply means if you build a feature, then you test that feature on its own in isolation. And integration testing means you basically integrate that feature into the larger code base and see how it interacts with the existing classes, variables, state of the app, and see if it integrates well. And more, there's probably a lot more features as well. Cool. Whether you're new to PHP web frameworks or have years of experience, Laravel is a framework that can grow with you. We'll help you take the first step towards first step as a web developer or give you a boost to take your expertise to the next level. We can't wait to see what you've built. Amazing. Let's go. Why Laravel? I'm already sold. Let's see. I'm gonna like completely run through this. Can I maximize this in case that's distracting? Yeah. There are a variety of tools and frameworks available when you're building web applications. However, we believe that Laravel is the best choice for building modern full stack web applications. So full stack simply means it has the back end and front end covered. You don't need to touch anything else. You can build everything about the app within Laravel. Okay. So just to give you a heads up, you can integrate other front-end frameworks like React and Vue through what's called Laravel Inertia. There's also what I prefer is using Laravel Livewire, so you don't even have to touch JavaScript. Laravel Livewire is sort of like the single page application framework within PHP. So you can write all of your components in Livewire and they'll just work like an SPA, or it can be server-side rendered as well. So it's super fast, modern, and responsive. It's called Livewire. Maybe we'll get to it sometime later in this course. Now, a progressive framework. We like to call Laravel as a progressive framework. By that we mean that Laravel grows with you, and if you're just taking your first step towards web development, Laravel's vast library of documentation, guides, and video tutorials, shout out to laracast.com, will help you learn the ropes without becoming too overwhelmed. If you're a senior developer, Laravel gives you robust tools for dependency injection, unit testing, queues, real-time events, and more. I trust that this is useful for senior devs. Laravel is fine-tuned for building professional web applications and ready to handle enterprise workloads. Huge W here. A scalable web framework. Laravel is incredibly scalable thanks to the scaling friendly nature of PHP and Laravel's built-in support for fast distributed cache systems like Redis, RIP. Horizontal scaling with Laravel is a breeze. In fact, Laravel applications have been easily scaled to handle hundreds of millions of requests per month. Easily scaled to handle hundreds of millions of requests per month. Sounds exciting. Sounds super exciting. Need extreme scaling? Platforms like Laravel Vapor allow you to run your Laravel application at near limitless scale on AWS's serverless technology. I don't think I'll ever need that, but it's good to know that it's here. A community framework. Laravel combines the best packages in the PHP ecosystem to offer the most robust and developer-friendly framework available. In addition to thousands of talented developers from all around the world have committed. In addition, thousands of talented developers from all across the world have contributed to the framework. Who knows, maybe you'll even become a Laravel contributor. I was. I'll show you how. My contribution is here somewhere in the installer. At the risk of doxing myself, I'm gonna just say this. Taylor already took it out. So I'll give you an example what minor contribution. So when the installer went from version 5.6 to 5.7, I just submitted a pull request and the documentation and Taylor himself, Taylor Otwell, the creator of Laravel himself merged it. It was one of the proudest moments this year for me. Cool. So where were we contributed? Cool. Creating a Laravel project. Let's go. Before creating your first Laravel project, make sure your local machine has PHP and Composer installed. Do we? Let's open the terminal. I'm gonna side by side this baby. Okay. Do I have PHP installed? -v. I think I do. If it was green, it means I do have installed. I know I do, but I want to know which version I do. I think I have 8.3 or 8.2. I'm not sure. 8.3. I have no idea why it took half an hour. Composer. Let's go. So Composer, not Compower. Is it capital V? 2.7. Okay. Reasonably up to date. We're in March, and this is a month old and this is 2 months old. Cool. Now I have both of these. If you're developing on Mac OS or Windows, PHP and Composer can be installed in minutes via Laravel Herd. Oh yeah, this is super interesting. In addition, we recommend installing Node and npm. Pretty sure I have both. Node dash version npm dash v. Cool, I have both. Laravel Herd is fantastic. Did they come out with the Windows? Yeah, they did. Let's do this. I've been wanting to use Laravel Herd. This is the first time I'm using it. Right here live on stream. So if you don't know what Laravel Herd is, you can look at this right now. So it gives you the option of managing your PHP and database and server environments in a handy utility like this. And it makes it so that your applications go to example.test. If that is what the domain is. It's super handy, and they recently released it for Windows. I remember checking this a couple of days ago. They didn't have it. So this is fantastic. This is brand new stuff. Let's find out together how this works. Wait, it is a huge, yeah, it's 256 megabytes. It's not a small package, so expecting a ton of features. Laravel Herd. Where were we? We were here. Yeah, Laravel Herd. In minutes. I think a minute would be just to download the installer, but I'm happy. I'm sorry. I don't know why I am making fun of a free and open source project, but I'm sure it's useful. I don't have to like raw dog and like do this myself. I used to install all the dependencies on my system, make sure that they're in the path directory, and just manage this on my own. It wasn't super inconvenient, but it wasn't the best developer experience. I'm glad that they've fixed it now. Herd version 1.0.0 setup.exe. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, open when done. Just open when done. I think it's scanning for viruses. I have Cloudflare warp on. Maybe I didn't, but I like, because I know that Herd edits your DNS configuration to set up the .test domains on local. I don't know if it will interfere like this with this or not. Curious to know if disconnecting from Cloudflare also disconnected the stream. Doesn't seem like it. I still seem to be online. Yeah, let's go. Oh, why are you taking so long? I'll continue reading until then, okay? If you have installed PHP and Composer, you may create a new Laravel project like this. Composer, create Laravel 11 example app. Interesting, that's super easy. Or Composer Global, this. But I'm doing it from Laravel Herd, so let me read the documentation for this. Yeah, there's a pro version of this as well. I'm not gonna bother with pro right now. I think this is enough for now. The free version should be good. Pro, I think, helps you deploy, or there's some advanced configuration which I don't want to bother with right now. Cool. Windows dialog. Let's go. Windows dialog. Let's go. Oh, it went. Okay, let's continue reading. Maybe it'll come back. I'll open this. Yeah. Herd is blazingly fast. Native Laravel at PHP development environment for Windows. It provides everything that you need to get started with Laravel development. It ships with PHP Nginx and Node.js. Nice. I like Nginx. It's fast. Herd Pro gives you local services management for databases, caches, and additional testing debugging capabilities. You'll find exceptionally useful when working on web applications every day. But let's check it out. How much is it for? I have no intention of buying it, but let's see how much it is for. Pro feature. Oh, cool. Debugging runtimes. Yeah, just how much is it? $100 forever. Is it a month? Is it a day? Is it, sorry, a year? Okay, so $100. I think it's a lifetime license. That's not a bad deal. I guess it's useful if you're doing this every day and find it useful. Shout out to Laravel Herd. Okay. After installing Herd, it routes all requests to .test domains to the correct sites on your local machine, like I said, and allows you to use Composer, the Laravel installer, and expose directly in your terminal. I don't know what expose is. So there's Composer, there's the Laravel installer, and there's expose. Let's find out what it is. I guess expose sounds like it should be something to do with WebSockets. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Run Herd. Let's run Herd. Installation. You can download from the website. Yes, I have. Windows 10 or higher. Administrative privileges. Yes, I do. Publisher Beyond Code. Interesting. That's a new one. I thought Laravel themselves published it, but it's not. Okay. I guess I'll allow it. After downloading the installer, you need to run it with admin privileges so the installer can add the Herd helper service responsible for updating host files in the map. I already failed. I already failed. I did not install it with admin privileges. Oh my god. Should I uninstall it? Type 1 in chat if I should uninstall it. I probably should. I probably should uninstall it. Did I close the chat? I need the YouTube chat talk. Yeah, there is. Oh, here it is. Sorry. It's just that no one said anything. Hi. Sorry, it was here. Didn't notice it. Okay, let me uninstall it. Herd installed recently. I'm going to uninstall it. Now you're going to look at all of the files in my system. I'm going to pause this for a second. Just a second. I'm sure there's nothing sensitive here, but let me just... Where is Herd? There's a bunch of stuff on my computer that I don't really need right now. I'll fix it maybe later. Like there's the Rails installer, there's Ruby, there's Herd. Here we go. 501 megabits or megabytes. Okay, I will uninstall this. I have uninstalled this. Herd is running. Okay to close it. Yeah, it's okay to close it. Wow. It has been uninstalled. Finish. Now I'm going to go to my downloads folder and right click and run it as administrator. Run as admin. Okay, I am back. here's my display again. So I've run this as admin now. All you need to do is just right click run as admin. Herd is being installed. Please wait. Installing. Please wait while herd is being. Let me read ahead because I think that would have been useful if I did that last time. You can download this, test domains, and after the installation process is complete, you have full functionality. You have fully functioning PHP Laravel dev environment, which means you'll easily invoke PHP Laravel and Composer binaries from PowerShell. Let's go. Herd does not alter any services on your system, and if it's not for you, you can easily switch back to your previous setup. That's it. That's all. That's all there is to it. Okay, let's go. Yes, let's run herd. This is my terminal, PowerShell. I'll open a new one for good measure. This is herd. Let's get started. Okay, to get started, you will need to set up some system preferences. It requires admin access. You will be asked to approve these actions. Okay. Downloading PHP 8.3. Which one did I have? Freeze, I closed it. I think I had 8.3. And if you're on Mac, it's probably a similar process. And on Linux, it's probably more involved. So while this is doing that, let me walk you through the Linux process. Typically, you need to download the dependencies like I showed you. So download PHP and the download PHP Composer for you have to mention your distro. So Ubuntu, not Ubuntu, Ubuntu or Ubuntu or Fedora, whatever your Linux distro is. If you're using Arch, by the way, then you already know what to do. Was it Arc? Arc, yeah. Linux. You just need to run that. Yeah, you need to run these scripts. Composer is super duper easy. You'll need PHP installed before getting Composer. So just copy these 4 lines for Composer, download PHP Linux. I think there's a simple shell command as well. You'll figure it out, like sudo apt install PHP or something like that. Yeah, sudo apt-get update, yeah, sudo apt-get upgrade, sudo apt-get install PHP, yeah, apt-get install PHP. That's how you do it. And then node and just install these 4 things. Okay, if you're on Linux, install in this order: install PHP, then install Composer, then install npm or nvm if you want, then install node, in fact. And I think node comes with npm. Just make sure it does. If it doesn't, then npm, in that order. So install these 4 things. Install PHP first, then install Composer, then install node. And if node doesn't automatically install npm as well. So to do install node on Linux, I'll show you. Install node on Linux. I hate this website, Geeks for Geeks. It should do better. Node.js. Let's go to official docs. Install Node.js, the latest version, LTS, on Linux. Oh, interesting. You can use brew. What is nvm? Nvm, like I told you, is node version manager. So you can curl this. Copy this. nvm is node version manager, install 20, which will get you the latest LTS. And then npm should be there as well. In fact, just copy these 4 things to clipboard and you should be good. Don't worry about curl being insecure or whatnot. If you are, then just go to this code and see what exactly it's doing. So you can just, you're not running obscure scripts. You can just go to GitHub and see the nvmsh and see exactly what it's performing. It's essentially downloading and compiling Node for you. So these 4 things, okay? Number 1, PHP. Number 2, Composer. Number 3, Node, and verify that npm exists on Linux. Administrator for PowerShell. Downloading Node.js version 21. Let's go. This is, I didn't do anything, by the way. This is her doing its magic. And I'm glad that it is. I wasn't expecting it to take so long though. And I wasn't expecting the documentation to be this little. Because it's easy, get credit where it's due. I mean, let's not like add fluff to the documentation. It's straightforward to the point. So there's, in fact, I'll tell you about a few versions to install, few ways to install Laravel on different operating systems. So Sail has been very, very popular over the past few years. So, but Sail requires Docker. So if you're a complete beginner, if you don't know what Docker is, then avoid that. It's useful, but I used it when I was developing on WSL, so Windows Subsystem for Linux. So it was Docker running on Linux, running on Windows. So, I mean, not the best experience for me. I mean, that's on me though. I could have just used Sail on Windows, but it just didn't feel super intuitive for me. Then I ended up with this one, Laravel new command. Composer global require Laravel installer and then Laravel new. This felt super intuitive for me, but I couldn't get the .test domains to work, so I was usually on localhost 8000. So that was a trade-off. I think we're okay for now. This should be pretty straightforward. I guess I'll stop the stream because it's just downloading Node.js and I don't think I'll have to do anything for it. But thank you for watching. I hope this was useful and you've learned how to install Laravel using Herd on Windows. Alright, peace out. I'll see you again.